Marama Davidson.
Mr. Speaker, e te mangai o te whare tēnā koe, tēnā tātou koutou katoa e te whare. Taking action, that's interesting. There's a lot more action that needs to be taken when you're coming from my communities, my networks and my experiences. But I rise to speak in this third reading of the Taxation Bright Line Test for a Residential Land Bill on behalf of the Green Party as our spokesperson for social housing. As my co-leader, Metiria Ture, has mentioned earlier in this debate, the Green Party is supporting this bill as it's a small step in the right direction. However, this bill also represents a massive missed opportunity for this House to take the action we actually need, meaningful action, to address the Auckland housing crisis and to support young families who have been completely shut out of the property market. Mr. Speaker, all tamariki in this country, and indeed all whānau, have the right to live in a warm, dry and affordable home. It's the basic necessity of life, and it has been something that New Zealand has stood quite proudly on for generations. Yet this seems to be taken for granted and in fact disregarded. I heard a couple of national backbenchers, I think was it yesterday, shouting out, what's wrong with renting? What's wrong with renting? When Labour was talking about the high incidence of renters in this country. How many of those MPs rent? How many would give up their home ownership to take their place as one of those renters? That they're yelling out, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? We need a choice. We need the choice. And that pride in home ownership for Aotearoa that New Zealand is built on has been disregarded by an increasingly out-of-touch third-term government. Come into my community, come into my iwi, come into my hapu and my networks and talk to us about how much easier this bill will make for their families. Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned in my maiden speech just last week, in my community of Manurewa and indeed across the whole country, whānau are living in homes so filled with mould that it's making their kids sick, often with what are third world diseases. Shame! What are we? Shame. This is simply disgraceful in what is a land of great plenty. For these families, the dream of owning their own healthy home will remain just a dream. Under the current policy settings, so many people, too many people, simply have no chance. Listen, I've been into the homes of families who have got young children who absolutely have no other choices. They are in mouldy homes that are making their children sick, and even with numerous notices from health practitioners, from local community health workers who are saying on paper these people need to be assisted into healthier, warmer homes. This family has tried so hard to get into private rental market, to get into a healthier home. They've tried. I looked at this mother's face where she wanted the best for her 7 children. She wanted the best. She wanted to be independent and get into a better situation, but she is coming up against roadblocks at every turn, roadblocks that this government has chosen not to push out of the way, and she has aspirations that are great for her family and for her children. But this bill, these measures do not go far enough. She is being discriminated against. She is not able to get into the private market. How long was that? Sorry.
1 minute to go.
Thank you. Oh, goodness.
It's only a 5-minute speech.
So actually, the Green Party has a whole package of solutions to ensure that all New Zealanders are able to live in a warm, dry and affordable home. Among these solutions is our progressive ownership scheme, our home ownership scheme, which will enable young whānau to purchase equity in their state rental houses. I don't know how attached any of the people in this House are to exactly how difficult it is for lower income, even single income families to even dream about any sort of deposit. Even a deposit of $5,000 would be virtually impossible for far too many families that I am connected to, that I look into their eyes and know how hard. Why is that choice not available for all of us? You know, we would, of course, introduce comprehensive taxes on capital gains, excluding the family home. Am I up now?
You are.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker.